you don't have any systems in your business, oh my God, what are you doing? Now, listen, I know I'm saying this now, but years ago, I ain't have no systems. So who am I to be condemning you about systems? But seriously, if you do not have systems in place in your business, it's going to be really, really challenging to run your business, but also to grow your business. Because here's what I have learned over the years through the hard way is that if I know everything, if I'm responsible for everything, nobody can do anything without me, then that means I am always working. And I started a business to have time and financial freedom, and that meant I needed some systems. Welcome back to another episode of the Keenya Kelly podcast. Today, we are talking about what systems do you need today to have a successful business. Now, listen, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you listen on the podcast, thanks for listening. You guys can always listen to the podcast and watch it. It's always Keenya Kelly podcast everywhere. And today, I really want to go over 8 different systems that we use in my business in order to have success. They're not going to be in any particular order, but I wrote them down. And so I wanted to be able to go over them, here on the podcast and on YouTube. So let's go ahead and get into it. I knew that, we've made like lots and lots and lots of money in my company. And when I was talking to somebody about how to grow my business, he said, you've got to get an assistant. And as soon as I started the process of trying to find an assistant, he said, but you also need to have systems and processes in your business, or your assistant is going to be so frustrated, so confused, and all the things that you've got to give him or her what they need. And honestly, that was really hard. We've talked about systems before here on the podcast, but it's been a year now since we've been doing this. And so now I'm like, okay, I have a little bit more experience to share, our process. Now, obviously in a year, I may have some different recommendations for systems, but today this is where we are. So the first thing that I wrote down here is payroll. You have to have a system to pay your people. And here is what we did at first. So we found everybody on Upwork.com. And so we were constantly paying people through Upwork.com until one day I realized, so not only is Upwork taking 20% of their money, but Upwork is also charging us even more money to be able to pay them. And so we just kind of got to the point where we were like, we're spending out a lot of money in Upwork fees. We need to hire these people onto our own system. So that way we're not spending all this money every single time we're paying somebody. And so we learned about a tool called Gusto. And so Gusto allows you to hire people, whether it's in the US and different countries, and you can pay everybody all at the same time, right? And so now we know in our company, everybody gets paid every other Friday. So Friday morning, I have this link from my assistant of everybody's how much time they work that week and, the hours that they get paid. And I literally just go into Gusto and I type in the hours and then boom, it's automatically taken out of my account, right? And then it's like at the end of the year when it's tax time, I get all these documents back so that I'm able to know what it is that I'm doing with my taxes. And so for me, it gives me peace of mind knowing they click, I know exactly what to do. But also for my team members, they have the confidence that they're going to get paid because they do what they do. And then we always pay. And so if their country or their bank has any kind of issues, or if Gusto has any kind of payroll issues or whatever, notifications go out. So there was a time when something had happened between Gusto payroll and people getting paid. It was I don't know. And so Gusto sent me an email and it said, hey, payroll's going to be delayed by 2 days because of something. And so I screenshot that and I sent it to all of my employees and said, okay, this just came from Gusto. So that way they weren't wondering, is she paying us or not? But they could see that it was a Gusto issue. But also if somebody on my team switches banking accounts, and they can't pay them because whatever's going on, it will send me a notification to notify that person, hey, don't forget to update your bank account. And so it's a really great system and tool. I mean, it's it will do a lot of things, for you, the Gusto tool. So I would highly recommend you look into that for payroll. The second tool that we use is time tracking, and it's called Toggle. Okay. And so Toggle allows everybody to log in, when they came into work, when they went to lunch, when they came back in, and then when they logged off, period. And so then at the end of the 2 weeks, my assistant sends me this little Excel spreadsheet spreadsheet and I have everybody's names. Here's the hours that they work. And then we just plug it into Gusto and it's free. We're not paying anything right now to use Toggle. And so it's a great way to do time tracking. Now, again, this is going to be very beneficial for you if you have an assistant. She or he can be a virtual assistant because mine is in the Philippines. And so it's online. So they have access to everything. Okay. So that you can onboard them. It's a whole easy system using Toggle. The third thing you want to have is some type of team communication tool. And our communication tool of choice is Slack. Okay. So that's not cheap, right? But we use Slack and it has every single contractor that we work with. So like when we're having like, back-to-back conversation with each other, if we're having like little small group conversations, it's a really great tool. So I have a Slack where it's just me and my assistant. I have a Slack with me and my assistant and her assistant. Then we have the main channel where I can send a message to everybody. We have different categories of like, here are ideas for content. And we're constantly dumping ideas for content inside of this little channel where I can pull from, our team can pull from when we're coming up with ideas for social media. You can send files, you can send links, you can send videos. It's really, really, really easy to be able to talk to everybody all at one time. And so like the lady who does all the tech work for us, I will always have a conversation between her and my assistant. And like, it's just easy. She's in India. My assistant's in the Philippines. It's just a great, easy way to have communication. And now again, a year ago, I did not have any of these things, but all of this has completely changed my life. I've been on this journey of like health and like doctor's visits and have to have surgery soon. And like, I can be sitting in the doctor's office waiting to be seen because like your appointment is 8:00 and then it's like 8:37 haven't been seen yet. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can literally be on Slack just talking to them. They can send me a link to Google Drive, check this, all this stuff can happen, through using Slack. The fourth tool you want to use is maybe a social media management tool. So we, at this point, we have a lot of different feelings about social media management tools because all of the apps really want you posting content natively on the platform. That's what they want. They want you logging into Instagram, logging into TikTok and YouTube, Facebook, and actually hitting post directly from the app. And so as much as we want to use all the tools out there, like Agorapulse, Later, Metricool, Hootsuite, and all of them, they, the platforms don't want that. But if you're like, listen, I need to be able to schedule this stuff and get away from it and not have to be around it, then you want to get some type of social media scheduling tool. And the ones that I like the most are Later and Metricool. The sixth thing you want to have is you want to have your payment process. I know that some of y'all are like, okay, duh. But listen, there are people out there that still only send PayPal invoices, that still only send, pay me through Zelle, that still only say pay me through Cash App, or here's my email for PayPal, right? I'm not saying those are bad, but what I am saying is that you want some automated type of things. And so we have it to where like when people are buying our products and services, they can pay through credit card, they can pay through PayPal, they can pay through Stripe. And that way we're able to generate the money we want to generate. Now, eventually, as we're making even more money per transaction, we will probably have a different tool that will take out less money from us when it comes in. Because right now, PayPal takes what it takes, Stripe takes what it takes, and it's like a lot of money that gets taken. Y'all know what I mean? And so eventually we're going to want to have more control over that and give less money to all these payment processor places or whatever. So you want to make sure that you're starting to use some type of processor and not send me a Cash App, because like you just don't want to do that. You know what I mean? You want people to be able to enter their credit card information in, pay through PayPal, pay through Stripe, something like that. I know I'm laughing, but y'all know what I'm saying. So I hope that makes sense. The next thing you want to have is you want to have some type of project management system where your team can like, here's their projects and here's what they need to get done. So the system that we are currently using is ClickUp. Okay. The interesting thing is that ClickUp doesn't work for me. The way that my brain works, like I have to be able to see it all. And so my assistant, everybody is working in ClickUp with their task. And then my assistant just every day, there's this sheet, and this sheet shows me here's all the things that I need to do for the day or for the week, and here's what's urgent, and I'm able to like knock things out a lot easier. But every time I had to go into ClickUp, I wasn't getting things done. But my team is doing a great job with using ClickUp. So, and then what that allows one person to enter in everybody's task in ClickUp, assign them, and then you're off to the races. Okay. And so ClickUp does a lot of different things. We're giving people tasks. It's like Zapier type thing. It's a whole thing of what can happen when you use ClickUp. So my whole team uses it. I personally just use a sheet because of the way that my brain functions. And then the last two systems you want to have is you want to have an email marketing system and a lead capture system. Okay. So what do I mean by that? We all know that one of the things that I teach is social media marketing, especially with TikTok and short form video. I always tell people that we don't stop there, right? We don't just focus on how do we get to 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, 1,000,000 followers. No, we focus on how can we get in front of 100,000 people or whatever, get them to say, I want more from you, and then get them off of social media onto our email list so we can have complete and full control. I mean, because right now so many people are nervous about the potential of a TikTok ban. And now some of these people have millions upon millions upon millions of followers, and they have no control. If the TikTok got banned, they would lose 1,000,000 followers or however many they've got. But if they have been focusing on getting people off of TikTok or social media onto their email list, that fear they wouldn't be as anxious about it because they would have more control. So we make sure that we have a system that allows people to move from social media. And so our email system is Kartra, Kartra. But what we also do with Kartra is not only do we send emails and capture emails, but we also host our courses there. So if you're someone and you purchase our Monetize and Talk program, it's in there. If you've purchased a webinar from us and it's on replay, you're actually logging into Kartra because is such an easy way to be able to, put our products there. You're able to log into and you're able to watch at your leisure. And so we have that system that allows people to opt in and then get emails from us. Okay. Now, when we are usually building out some type of offer, or let's just say a free offer, typically what's happening with us is that we have our page that we designed is typically on WordPress. And then we have the lead capture with, Kartra. And then usually we're using Zapier, and Zapier is allowing us to zap in people from the email submit form into Kartra. And it's like an easy tool that's allowing for that to really, really, really happen. And so now listen, I know that it's a lot. When I said with all these systems, I'll repeat them. I said a payroll system, time tracking, team communication, social media management, payment processor, lead capture, project management, and email. You don't have to start with all of them. But if you're going to grow and you're going to have an assistant, then you got to have your system for creating processes. You've got to have your system for communicating with her or him. And then as you add more team members, then you've got to have systems for file sharing and all that. I didn't even mention that we use Dropbox to be able to house all of our videos and some of our photos and stuff. And then there's things in Google Drive that we house. It's like we have all these different tools that we use, but they work really, really, really well with our team for everything to be systematized and automated. So I, as a CEO, can focus on running the company and working with my clients. Now, if you're someone and you're like, that's a lot of stuff, that's a lot of systems, I need help with that. If you're saying to yourself that you need help with that and you want me to help you with that, I can help you. I do one-on-one consulting. You can just go to KeenyaKelly.com/laser coaching and you can book a one-on-one call with me and I can help you with all the things that we're talking about today. So thank you so much for watching and listening.